Hello, this is Lina. As the Easter is approaching, I decided to do a simple tutorial on needle felting an Easter egg. For this project we will need a needle felting mat, felting needles, both coarse and fine, and possibly a handle to hold multiple needles together. Nature white wool bedding for the base shape, and various other wool colors for decorating. I use shades of brown to make the bunny, orange for the carrot, yellow for the sun, shades of light blue for the sky and clouds, and some greens for the grass. Now, if you're all set, let's get started. First, we roll our white bedding into an egg shape for the base. Try to make it as tight as possible. After rolling the wool, start felting with coarse 36 triangle needles. Insert your needle deep. The goal is to move the fibers from the surface into the center, to make the core firm and leave the surface softer, as we're going to be adding more wool on top of it. Try to needle felt evenly across the surface. Do not felt in the same spot. Try to shape your wool as an egg. One end of it should be slightly sharper than the other. If your shape gets very dense, you can switch to a finer needle. However, be careful not to felt the surface very well. Just try to get the shape right and make it firm at this stage. No need to polish the surface. When you are satisfied with the form, let's start coloring our egg. Here I start by adding some grass. I choose to mix 2 shades of green for it. I make a simple scene with the bunny in this video to demonstrate the technique. You are of course free to choose your designs. I use 338 star needles on a handle to make this process slightly faster. I felt the darker shade of green first and then add some lighter green on top. Then I add the blue for the sky. You can see I didn't color the top of the egg, as I'm going to add yellow for the sun on that spot. And then I use some very light blue color for the clouds. You can notice that I switched to just one needle. It's important to be able to direct individual fibers when you detail work, and one fine needle is the best tool for that. I use the yellow wool to make the sun. I first create a round shape and then felt the rays individually. At this point, I go over the whole egg with 38 star needles to polish it a bit. Then I move on to felting the bunny. I decided to use the lighter shade as the background color and then do the outline and details with the darker one. I start with the head and then move on to the body. Then I roll the wool into tiny little balls and make the paws. And then I make the ears. After the shape of the bunny is done, I take darker wool and make the outline to give it a bit of volume. I also add details like eyes and nose. In the end, I add a tail using beige color. As I didn't want to starve the bunny, I gave him a couple of carrots. One he holds in his paws, and another one is left beside him for later. I used just a bit of orange and green wool for the carrots. Making Easter eggs like this one can be a fun exercise for needle felting enthusiasts. It doesn't take much time and you can get all kinds of nice looking eggs for your Easter decoration. Try making a few and putting them in a basket. I hope you've enjoyed this little tutorial. If you did, please like this video, share it with your friends and subscribe to my channel. Until next time!